Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Hopefully, all you guys are doing wonderful. Hopefully, all you guys are doing well. Today is September 17th, and it is Wednesday. It's been a very interesting day in the news world, to say the least. Hopefully, all you guys are doing well. I got a little microphone. I finally caved in and bought one of the TikTok microphones. I have to do interviews for a class, so I figured it'd probably be helpful to do that. So, got one of those, and hopefully it ups the quality of sound on, all my videos throughout all my platforms. Outside of that, though, like I said, hopefully all you guys are doing well. If you're new here, please subscribe, as we are on our way to 500 subscribers on YouTube, hopefully trying to make that by the end of the year. So if you're new here, please subscribe. All the support would be greatly appreciated. And with that being said, let's get into the news from today. Moving on into the Trump administration segment, as we do, the first topic we have today is the Department of Justice has deleted a study showing that white supremacy is outpacing all other extremism in the United States. The Justice Department has removed a recent study from its website showing the scale of white supremacy violent extremism in the United States. According to People, the study was titled "What NIJ Research Tells Us About Domestic Terrorism." It was removed from the website on Friday. The study also reported that since 1990, far-right extremists have committed far more ideologically motivated homicides than the far left, including that 227 events that took 520 lives. The Department of Justice has declined to give any specific reasoning for this takedown, but claimed this was because of an overall review of all of their websites, a popular excuse by this administration. And my jaw continues to stay in place. I'm not shocked that this is the case at all, and I cannot wait for MAGA to continue to be uneducated and to say this is false, when it's not. There are multiple studies outside of this one that prove this is the case. I mean, they're going to continue to attack trans people. They're going to continue to attack people of color when it is their own people who continuously commit these attacks. And they can go fuck themselves for that, truly. I'm tired of the attacks, and I'm tired of the beratings I get in my comment section when it is factually incorrect. And just like when I started this content with a lack of filter, every day, more and more, that filter starts to go away because of the shit that I have to hear on the internet from this administration and the shit that I have to read in my comment section. In other news, in other news, a giant image of Trump and Epstein has been displayed on Windsor Castle. Holy English. Police in the UK have arrested 4 people after a massive photo of Trump and Epstein together was projected onto Windsor Castle. The projection included multiple photos of Trump and Epstein, along with Melania Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. It also included the letters sent to Epstein by Trump for his birthday. The 4 that displayed these images are now in custody as an investigation is underway. Release the files. We all know that Trump is in them. I mean, that's just a fact. We all know it at this point. And the longer we wait to release those files, the more stuff that they are able to remove. Granted, they've probably tossed a majority of the Trump-related stuff. I guarantee you there's still a shit ton of it in there. So, release the files. Where are they? How many more votes is it going to take? Come on, let's lock in here. Let's get some work done. In other news, the Trump administration is going after Jimmy Kimmel. FCC Chair Brendan Carr has threatened Disney and ABC and Jimmy Kimmel over Kimmel's efforts to, quote unquote, concert efforts to lie to the American people by implying Charlie Kirk's killer was a Trump supporter. Carr said the FCC may need to pursue remedies against Kimmel if ABC does not, even suggesting that a suspension for Kimmel at a minimum. Carr said, frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct and take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. Unfortunately, Jimmy Kimmel's show has been canceled now, and we'll talk about that more shortly, but it is actually fucking insane that this is happening and a direct attack on freedom of speech. All because he suggested that, the shooter of Trump could be a Trump supporter. He didn't say he was, he didn't say he is, he said he could. That is fucking insane. And if you don't see that as an attack on the freedom of speech within our country, you need to go sit down and read the Constitution again. Because it is so clear that that is the case. It genuinely is. Before this administration, you could say anything about the president. You could say anything at all. You really could. And now that is not the case. Because of the Trump administration having their hands shoved so far up their ass that their ego is exploding, it is a genuine problem and it needs to be stopped. We have freedom of speech in the United States of America, and the continuous attack by the Trump administration against that is a fucking problem that needs to end. In other news, talking about ICE, ICE has now spent thousands on a robot that can deploy smoke grenades and open doors. ICE is ramping up its purchases of tactical gear, guns, and more as the agency has now spent $78,000 on a robot that can open doors, climb stairs, and fire off smoke bombs during raids. The deal has been made with the Canadian tech company Ecor Technology. The robot is able to latch onto doorknobs and turn them, along with being able to traverse obstacles like stairs. This is so unnecessary, bro. Like, there is no reason ICE needs robots to do raids. Like, we're deploying battle droids. Is this Star Wars? I didn't know that we were living in the galaxy. Well, we're living in a galaxy, but if you're a Star Wars fan, you get what I mean by that. Like, you're telling me that a human is incapable of opening a door and throwing a smoke grenade. That's absolute bullshit. It really is. ICE is a horrible agency that is actively attacking all forms of American society, and they need to be shut down. Fuck ICE. Genuinely. Failing agency that is a waste of taxpayer dollars. In other news, Charlie Kirk. Talking about him, Republicans are introducing a Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day, or are looking to do so. Republican lawmakers are introducing legislation to honor the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk by creating a Remembrance Day for him. This comes as Congressman Jimmy Patronis and Senator Rick Scott look to make October 14th, which of course is Kirk's birthday, a Remembrance Day for him. All the co-sponsors for this bill are Republican as well, but many believe it is possible for there to be bipartisan support. Remembrance days are pretty common for anyone who dies of any form of violence in the United States, so this really isn't shocking. But what's the point of remembering victims to gun violence if it's just going to continue? Like, if we were to remember, every single person who died of gun violence in this country, every day would be a holiday. Truly, it really would be. Genuinely, it is important to remember victims. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Remember the victims. But that doesn't do anything to help to protect the people who might be next. Like, we could be pushing through legislation that makes it harder to buy guns in this country. We could be pushing through legislation that actively works on the mental health crisis in this country. Yet we're pushing through legislation that makes a Remembrance Day for a podcaster instead of protecting people from having the same fate as him. Like, that is insane. That is a problem that needs to be recognized. We should be making it harder for people to buy guns in the United States. I'm not saying we get rid of guns. Absolutely not. We should still have guns, but we need to make it harder to get them because way too many people, for one, who are mentally ill have them and who could cause problems have them. But for two, like, guns are weapons and they kill people. Like, it should not be so easy to buy a gun. Depending on the state you are in, you can go into a Walmart and buy a firearm. You can go into the store that I'm sure so many of you buy groceries in and buy a firearm. That is insane. And you know what country that only happens in? The United States of America. I don't understand how people don't recognize that as a problem. That is coming from someone who has spent their entire life around guns. That is coming from someone who has spent their entire life in duck blinds. If you remember my bedroom from my old place, I had mounts of birds on walls. Like, I have been a hunter my entire life. And yet I still strongly believe that it is very important that we make guns harder to get in this country. Anyways, moving on into our other news segments, the first topic we have is Trey Reed's family is demanding an independent investigation after his death. Trey Reed, the man found hanging outside of Delta State University, has sparked a lot of conversation online about what has happened, and now his family is calling for answers, according to Vanessa Jones, their attorney, because police haven't been honest with them. According to Reed's grandfather, the police told the family that Reed was found in his room and did not say that it was a possible suicide. Of course, he was not found in his room. And the family is now calling for an investigation and an autopsy in response to Reed's death, according to Jones, of course, their attorney. The family of Trey Reed has not received a phone call from the president of Delta State University. This was announced in a statement from their attorney. Justice for Trade Reed, truly. Like, as more information comes out, this looks less and less like it was done himself. And I'm sure they have video footage of it happening too. I mean, where the hell is that? Truly, where the hell is the video footage? Like, seriously, with all the shit that we have going on in this country right now, you'd think they'd be fast to get this done and say, hey, it wasn't anything bad. It was somebody struggling with mental health. But no, they are lying about it and dragging it on, which says a lot. It really does. And it is terrifying. Like, if this was done by someone else, that is fucking terrifying. Truly, we don't know if that was the case. But if it was, that is fucking terrifying. And that is a problem. That takes us back so far. And I know this administration is also trying to take us back so far. But that in itself takes us so far back to when the KKK was prominent. Truly, they were a very prominent group a very long time ago. I'm sure everyone knows that. I mean, it had implications throughout the entire world. But that was one of the big things that they continuously did. And if that is the case, if that is something that people are doing in this country, it's bad. It's bad. It really is. In other news, 5 officers were shot while serving a warrant today. 3 law enforcement officers have been killed. 2 other officers were wounded in a shooting in Pennsylvania. According to state police, the shooter is now dead. Police were serving a warrant in York County when they were shot at. 2 surviving officers are in critical condition but are stable. According to witness accounts, 30 shots total were fired. State Governor Josh Shapiro has urged locals to follow directions of law enforcement during this time. My condolences to the family and the friends of the officers who have passed, truly, and I wish all of the officers who are currently injured a speedy recovery. Once again, nobody deserves to die of gun violence, and gun violence is a massive problem in this country that should be prevented. No, we should not get rid of guns, but we need to regulate them, and we need to make it harder for people to get them, and especially so we can keep children safe. Like, it is a problem how many of these incidents we have in the United States day after day. Like in the last 7 days, how many has it been? Charlie Kirk, these officers, a school shooting. I'm pretty sure there was 2 school shootings actually, and like so much more. Like, it is a problem, and it needs to be fixed. It really does. Other news, moving on into our final topic for tonight. ABC has canceled the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Jimmy Kimmel Show has been permanently canceled by ABC due to Kimmel's comments on the individual who shot Charlie Kirk. A spokesperson said in confirmation, Jimmy Kimmel Live will be preempted indefinitely. There won't even be a show tonight. He is done. He is forever gone. On the bench, done. This is a direct attack on freedom of speech. It really is. The Trump administration has shut down a popular media personality who is normally pretty unbiased from what I remember, which is fucking insane. It really is. All because he said that a shooter may be connected to the Trump administration or may be a supporter of the Trump administration. He has lost his job. That is fucking insane. Like, genuinely, it is. And it really shows that this administration is flat out a dictatorship. Fuck Donald Trump and fuck his administration. Trump is not a president. He is a parasite that continues to attack this country and is the reason why millions of Americans are struggling day after day, which needs to change. It is standing proof that the system that we live in is a problem that needs to be rebuilt. And that's why I'm going into office. Bray 2028, don't forget. Um, Outside of that, though, hopefully. Oh, shoot, I just muted my tab. Oops, sorry, guys. Outside of that, hopefully all you guys enjoyed today's episode. It has definitely been a very interesting day in the news world, to say the least. But hopefully all you guys are doing well. Hopefully all you guys are having a wonderful week so far. If you are new here, please subscribe. As mentioned, we are on our way to 500 subscribers, and all the support would be greatly appreciated as we try to reach that goal by the end of the year. Outside of that, though, if you're on Substack, also please consider subscribing. All funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I need to pay for in college, like food, like clothing, like all of that. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I truly do appreciate all forms of support on this content. It means the world to me. Thank you all so much for watching today's episode, and I will see you all